Hey everybody, I'm Michael with Bay Area Hiking Guys. Give me that information, that knowledge to go out there and hike with confidence. I'm up here with Sadie. Yeah! Well, we're going to be talking about interesting stuff going on over here with all these holes. What's going on? Is somebody out here shooting a rifle? Well, it's not actually that, but we're going to get more into it. But you can see all these little unique holes, and then there's also some acorns inside of there. Ooh, he's stashing those acorns. All right, guys, stay tuned. Here, and it's a little warm today. Sadie has now introduced herself into Bay Area Hiking Guide. She's demanding a trailer. She wants lemonade to be delivered to her on a regular basis, and we just don't have that kind of money, so I fired her. So you're wandering around in your hikes, and you're really enjoying yourself and having a good time, and you might be hiking around some oak trees, or could be out there on an adventure. You could be at home, sitting down, relaxing, and enjoying a wonderful book. Then you ask yourself, what the heck is that hammering going on? And you're out on your hike and you're hearing the same thing, and you're hearing the sound that sounds like laughing, like someone's laughing at you. And you wonder, what the heck is that? Well, it probably, most likely, but not always, is a acorn woodpecker. Interesting little holes that are going on here, and this is actually the granary system that is happening with the acorn woodpeckers, and they use tree trunks, they use shingles on a roof, they even use telephone poles to dig in holes and then put their acorns in there. Now these granary systems are pretty old, 7 to 8 years. I think it's, to the math, did I care the one? About 8 years that it takes to make these granaries and establish this system they got going on here, which is way past 6 feet. So a clan can be up to 20 different acorn woodpeckers. And those clans from one day can put up to as much as about anywhere from 200 to 500 acorns a day. That's a whole lot of acorn action. Also, the granaries can hold up to, the number what I've heard is 50,000 acorns. That's a lot. So you're probably asking yourself, they're probably pretty defensive and they should be swooping down and attacking me and ripping my eyeballs out, right? Well, actually, they're not doing that. And, because me and the acorn woodpeckers have had a long discussion. It actually took 2 weeks for me to make this video because, they wanted me to make a contract. A little tough. It was over a poker game. There's a few actually around me right now. I've actually heard them in the back kind of making that interesting sound. That's an acorn woodpecker right there. So you're probably thinking that they're storing all these acorns and no one's allowed to have any. It's only within that established clan that they can have the acorns. Well, that's not the case at all. Actually, any clan can come and have any acorns they want. And the other thing is it's not just inviting other acorn woodpeckers. You also have the California scrub jays, but you also have a lot of other interesting things coming and having their way with the acorns. It could be those wonderful ground squirrels, and they establish these lovely granaries for like everything around them, and it's just like the whole cycle repeats itself. So you're going to bring in a squirrel that's going to have a little acorn, and that's going to be cool, right? They're going to have an acorn, they're going to enjoy themselves, and that's going to bring predators. Now, as much as it might sound pretty screwed up, but the predator is all part of that cycle, right? So if an animal was to die and go into the soil, well, that's creating iron and other nutrients for the trees around it, so the cycle's just going around and around and around, right? Now, the interesting thing is I remember when I was a small kid, if you guys want to listen to this story, when I was a small kid, we had a family reunion. God, I love those things. I've only been to one, and I'm glad I was only in one. Well, anyways, it was a family reunion, right? And it always seems with family, dinner time is usually pretty decent during Thanksgiving, but it can get a little rough. And I remember there being other members of the family that I hadn't seen in years. I mean, years. I didn't even know who they were when I looked at them in the face. But anyway, I was just a kid. But I remember taking some food from their table, and they got very upset with me taking food. Hey, this is our food, not yours. You got your table over there. God, your family's messed up. It's not like that at all. But what I'm trying to state this is we can better ourselves as human beings as a whole, because the acorn woodpeckers are doing a fine job of it. Ultimately are allowing other clans to have their way as many acorns as they possibly want. And the fact that acorns aren't even their prime source of diet. You know, acorns are holding fat and protein, and those are big, big components to establishing a survival life in what we call nature today. So let's get a closer look up as I sit here rambling on about stuff. Get a little closer. All right, so here you can see there is acorn right here. And as you can see, this is pretty well put in there. And what they're going to do is they're going to take these acorns, bang them about a little bit on the tree here, shake them about, make sure it's the right size and everything, and it's a good acorn. And then they're going to make that hole, establish it, and pound that right in there. Now, of course, the pointed side of the acorn is going to go in first, and then the back side is going to go in last. So that's how you can see there's definitely a theme here with that. And you can also tell that these graineries are kind of going down along with the grain in that canyon of this Quercus lobata. So pretty interesting stuff. You can also see there's a bunch of holes and stuff that's probably from other things eating away at it. Or it could possibly be the acorn woodpeckers taking larvae out of there and insects out of the acorn to sustain their diet. Once these acorns get loose, and because when an acorn's fresh, you know, green, and then they pop it in there, it starts shrinking. And when it starts shrinking, you end up getting with this loose acorn, so it's a lot easier for any animal or other bird to take those acorns out and put them to where they want to go. Like California scrub jay that would pull it out and then either plant it to help germination of that oak, or to take it somewhere else and have it later. So, pretty interesting indeed. So if we look at all these acorns and we see them all placed in here so well, this granary, it's almost like a place of worship. And you see all these little holes, and they all go up, and it keeps going up and going up. And you see what's left of this Quercus lobata, and you can see some of the holes right here. There's a hole right there. And then you can also see some more on this side, okay? So you can see some of the depth that goes into some of these holes. Where did I have, okay. And then there's this guy here. I mean, look at that. Isn't that cool? I mean, it's a piece of the bark, but the depth that has to go into establishing that is just awesome. So it's always important if you're out there with your buddies or you've got your kids or whatever and you see one of these things, to not kick it down. Don't take all the acorns out of it and throw them all over the place, or disrespect it or spray paint it or any of that stuff. It's very, very important that we do not bother these graineries, because it plays a vital role in the acorn woodpecker's livelihood, and as well as the massive community around the oaks and in the oak woodland. Okay, come on, Sadie. We're going to take a little adventure with Sadie here and check out what's going on. And you might be able to see some of the... Sadie, watch yourself, okay? This is not our home. So, you might be able to see some of these acorn woodpeckers. See? these have plenty of water, so don't be worried. I got plenty of water on me for it. We're not out here too far, so have to be very careful with that. There's actually a pretty nice blue oak grove just a little further up here. And this is a prime location for acorn woodpeckers to live. They prefer the white oaks. You know, they like the white oaks, but not always. And they also like pine, so you kind of get a mixture of oaks. So they tend to favor the white oak section. And for you that don't know, oaks are in sections. You have the intermediate, you have the red oak, the white oak, and blues would be in that white oak section. And so with valleys and Garryonas. But you could tell that this is a great location for them to live. Look at that, huh? This is just absolutely gorgeous. And even though, you know, it's a little hot today, we can enjoy our time together. So, as we can see over here, somebody has left a beer can. So there's a beer can over here by this oak tree. It looks like it's been here for a while. It also looks like there was some type of ash or something that they were burning inside there. This is not okay, you know, because this is just waiting to cause other problems. I know they see us. Acorn woodpeckers generally live to about 12 to, I mean, there's even a case of 16 years old. So they're living well beyond the age of the granary system of being, you know, well established for a good 8 years to really get a good granary going. They have something called clans, and these clans are well established, and it can be up to 20 birds. So let's go ahead and kind of go through the number system. So the males, there's going to be 1 to 3 breeding females that are basically their primary goal is to breed more acorn woodpeckers. And then there's going to be 1 to 7 breeding males. I thought it was 4 breeding females, but I was wrong. So it's 1 to 3 breeding females and 1 to 7 breeding males. So the males, the males will have up to 3 wives, and the females will have up to 7 husbands. Right, ladies? The children can be anywhere up to 1, 2, or 10 young youth acorn woodpeckers, and they'll stick around with the clan for up to 7 years. They tend to stick around for quite some time, making sure they're continuing the acorn collecting and pounding them away in those acorn graineries. Now, the wives and the husbands, so let's go through this just real second here. Now, unlike the California scrub jay, which only has 1 wife, 1 husband, there's just a pair, if 1 of the 3 wives pass on, then they stick to the 2 wives. That's either passing on or missing in action somewhere. We have no idea where it went. I'm sure the wife, you know, might have gone to Vegas. I don't know. And there's no going about and another one looking for vacancy or looking to become a breeding wife, a breeding female. There's none of that happens. It sticks with the 3 and until death do us part. That's how it works. There's no, oh, darn it, I'll go get another wife or I'll go get another husband. That doesn't happen at all. All the way until that last wife is dead, then there's a vacancy. Now this is where it gets really interesting. If there's a vacancy, a breeding female will show up and she needs another husband or you know. So she'll show up and she'll say, make a call and call out and say, all right, well, the breeding female that was here prior before, the one that was remaining is no longer responding back. She understands that there's no more breeding females anymore. Well, I'm not getting a response back. Betty was here yesterday. Where the heck did Betty go? Every time I come here, she responds back. But now Betty's not responding back. There's an opening. Now there's a vacancy because there's no more females left. So, she goes, all right, Betty's gone. I'm going to go ahead and take my claim and become a breeding female for this clan. Uh-oh. Not so fast. Now another group, clan nearby, a breeding female that also wants to check out the vacancy and become a breeding female for this clan, shows up. And what happens? Well, this is going to be rather interesting for some of you. All of a sudden, there's a fight that breaks out. And the fight breaks out, and this can last for quite a long time. From my understanding, it can last for several weeks. And what ends up happening is all members of the other clan, brothers and sisters and husbands and wives, they show up. And a battle takes place between this one female seeking to be in the vacancy and the other female nearby. And all hell breaks loose. And these clans can be up to 20 birds. So basically, the bigger the number necessarily usually wins the battle, but not always the case. And they could peck at each other's heads. They could be wrestling feathers. They can fall to the ground and wrestle each other. They do all kinds of crazy stuff. And once the victor is victorious, then from that one clan, remember, clan of 20 or less, that one clan, 3 females, will be introduced into the vacancy spots that are available for this husband seeking wives. So they end up taking over, and the one that was there trying to seek out for Betty's attention, and Betty wasn't there, loses because she was outnumbered by another clan that happened to be nearby. Crazy stuff. I mean, I read that and I'm like, what? So here's the other blowing away factor. During a moment of their time at night, when they're all nestled away in these little nooks that they have inside the tree, and there could be up to 12 of them in a little nook, or 10, or it could be less than that, and it can get a little tight and uncomfortable in there and rather heated. So in the middle of the night, they all come out and they perform a simulation sex acts. The female and the males will hump each other, and the males will hump males, and females will hump females, and it's all simulated. And it's not an actual sex that's going on here, but it's a simulation. And this lasts for a little bit of time, and then they all go back into the little nook and just enjoy themselves. You think I'm making that up? I'm not. So, we don't know why they do that. So, that's another cool thing. So, also how to tell them apart. Your females are going to have a black band that's going to be across their forehead. And then you'll see that red little fluff tear on them. And the black band will be across their forehead. And that's how you can determine if it's a female. And then the males don't have that black band there. It's going to be white, and then they'll have the red fluff on the top of their cap, a little red cap. The red caps on the males tend to be a little redder than the females, where it's less red, but still distinctively red. So that's how you can kind of tell them apart. And they make sounds. It sounds like laughing. It sounds like someone's laughing at you. They're all laughing at me. And then they pound those acorns in, right? What's with all that ruckus? Can you describe the ruckus, sir? Man, I love that movie. Anybody that knows, go ahead, leave a comment down below. No.